How's it going, everyone? It's Liam Carlson here, and we're reacting to the final episode of Secret Invasion, which has been really, really great stuff over the course of these last 5 weeks. And of course, it's going to be very interesting to see where things will go as we do conclude things, if it's going to set things up for future events, because I did speculate in regards to the Marvels, of course, since Nick is going to be appearing in that next time around. Well, that is the assumption, but I think that's the next Marvel project, isn't it? And we know that Nick is going to be involved with the Marvel, so it's going to be very interesting to see how things are going to go over the course of this episode with the Avengers DNA, the Harvest, being prepped for Gravik to use. Of course, we're going to come to that final showdown where, hopefully, fingers crossed, Gravik will meet a very satisfactory ending, because he has been a bit of a thorn in our sides, especially with who he has taken over the course of these last 5 weeks. Some pretty big names have dropped since he has emerged on the scene. So, yeah, but I'm really, really excited. I'm also really nervous to see how things are going to go in terms of, like, of course, what Gravik does have planned, because, like I said, he has not just been a thorn in our side in terms of taking lives, but, of course, with the Harvest, with the Avengers DNA, it is a very, very scary prospect, especially when you consider the Battle of Earth, the battle against Thanos. So, yeah, all of those abilities, there were some pretty big names. I mean, there were some pretty big names anyways, like even if you want to consider the Battle of New York as an example, but the playing field expands when it comes to the Battle of Earth, because you've got a lot more members there. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how things are going to go. So with that said, it's time for the final episode of Secret Invasion. Let's go.
A million times. This is just the first time I press send.
Oh. No, that's when things are desperate, right?
Far enough to where it makes sense.
President Vladimir is a bald-faced liar, and I've got 30 dead Russians on a motorway to prove it.
We cannot rule out the possibility of a false flag attack.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
Oh,
what happened on that motorway was an all-out assault on our republic, orchestrated by the Skrulls and the Russians who were giving them safe haven.
What are we looking at here, Colonel Rhodes?
Real-time satellite imagery, sir. This is the Russian tanks taking positions on the Finland and Ukrainian borders. Now, sir, if I may, I've taken the liberty to share a rough copy of your remarks to the nation.
Yeah. Of course, with what was going on with Ukraine and whatnot, yeah. He is entering a very, very detrimental environment, so... And I even use very, very as a you know, lenient term. You need some rat away.
Written stop before the bomb is launched. Move the president now.
Sonya. Good on you, girl. Good on ya.
Sweep every floor and lock down the elevator. National security threat.
Clean.
You never see these tremors. They're natural at this level of exposure.
Tremors? Quake? Okay. That was a nickname. Come on, give me it.
This was the first human I killed. And you know why I killed him?
You never forget your
I
first.
killed him because you told me to. Oh, wow. You don't even remember.
Holy
The
shit.
first mission you sent me on. You know, I was young. I tried my best. I wanted to give everything to impress.
Yeah, all right, maybe he was a bit misguided. But I killed him because of you! I killed him, and I killed so many more. And everyone I killed took a little piece out of my heart.
Species you spent your entire adult life defending. They were condemned to die the day I realized you weren't a man of your word. You know, Fury.
Might have wronged you, but you pulled the trigger.
Really?
Before I flaked off.
What's that?
Relief. Relief that I didn't have to fight anymore.
It was someone else's job to take care of things. Because there's all of this onus on him.
Hell alone and leave it now. Call
Essentially,
off the strike
get off my
and
planet.
Save your people.
Oh, Fury.
But he's not gonna take that. He's not gonna buy it.
Radiation's eating your brains.
Ghost, Captain... Oh, What? Mantis, Hulk, Gamora, Winter Soldier. Oh my god. Oh my
really
god. Oh shit! Wait, did Fury just obtain...
You.
Oh, yes! There's the real Fury. Oh, you are fucked. This Ken is absolutely fucked. The world is gonna go to shit. Make your call. Seeing all of these different... Oh my god. Holy shit!
For Christ's sake, Rickson, what have you got to lose?
Mother.
Right. Just delay them.
Like your father. Just like them.
Except she's willing to, like, absolutely fuck you all. Oh my god. But he can... Oh! Clean! Try. There you go. There's your proof of the pudding.
Have you been in here?
Whoa, Colonel Rhodes, I've got you. You've been
Since
held
at
hostage
least...
for a long time.
Since at least Civil War, right? So that means when Tony died, that was Scrody that was there. I don't know. It does feel a bit.
All off-world born species enemy combatants. We know who you are.
Oh shit.
We know how to find you. And we will kill every last one of you.
Oh great. That's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Mistakes of Talos and Fury and leave love and friendship out of this. I will use you.
Make war,
you
not
will
love.
use me, and together we'll make this planet safe for both our people.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm here to see these two team up. Just Amelia Clarke and Olivia Colman. It just works. Just works. Okay.
You took a bad situation and made it worse. That's real one-term president stuff. Fury would have known that.
If you truly care about the Skrulls, get them off my planet.
Wow. Wow. Really? Really? Of course, the president's gonna make shit worse, right?
I'd like to use my birth name.
No point hiding, right?
Good news from Saber. The Kree said they're open to peace talks.
Holy
Kree make peace. Reminds me.
It's what, like, Vara mentioned to her in, I think, the other episode. Oh, nice callback. Oh. There's gonna be some people who's gonna be like, oh no. But oh. I mean, you just love their chemistry. Right, so admittedly, I did feel like things were, like, kind of hurried up for this finale. I did kind of worry with obviously this inevitable showdown between Fury and Gravik. And the runtime that it might be a bit, as well as, close things off, set things up for future events, it might be a bit, tight in terms of cramming everything in, and you could definitely see that. So, yeah, I definitely do feel like there was a lot of things that were rushed and all of that. And not just that, though, but I mean, yeah, you do joke about the president making things worse, but essentially he kind of did by not calling off this kind of threat to any kind of, well, in regards to the Skrulls and all of that, and not just that though, but in terms of like how people reacted, because they shot the Prime Minister, and she was legit, wasn't she? Because her blood was red, so yeah. He legit made things worse. So, and I feel like that is a whole can of worms to open, because, the president has just made this call out to the world about, okay, well, there are Skrulls amongst us who have been, posing as people, and some of them have been your world leaders and all of that. And you know how extreme people are going to be. I mean, there are a lot of people in the real world that will take things into their own hands, like they would in this kind of scenario. And then, of course, he does pose. I mean, it's understandable posing Skrulls as a threat, but yeah, he's just made things worse. So. And I feel like that could be explored further, like, I don't know, a second secret invasion and all of that. But I don't even think they're going to do a second secret invasion. But you get my drift in terms of, okay, well, this has just opened up a whole can of worms, because there are going to be leaders out there who are going to be Skrulls. There are those who are going to be pure human, but the masses are going to think, oh, they're definitely a Skrull and all of that. And I mean, obviously, that is the mindset where you come into this show, like, oh, who is a Skrull amongst these characters and all of that. But when you put that thought process into, I guess, this universe where you have people taking it upon themselves to shoot Skrulls and all of that, especially those in high power, like the Prime Minister, even though the Prime Minister was fully human, it does open a whole can of worms, doesn't it, in regards to, well, surely this should be explored even further, because there's going to be some kind of complication, surely, in the future, because of the fact that there are going to be people who are going to make life a living hell for the Skrulls, even though that Sonya and Gaia are trying to make things a bit more safer. It still doesn't, of course, it still doesn't cancel out the idea that there are going to be these extreme humans taking it upon themselves to take out the Skrulls, and not just that though, but get their assumptions, be wrong about their assumptions, should I say, like they did with the Prime Minister. It is a plot line that is very, very interesting to explore. So, yeah, but... And it completely came out of left field, like seeing all of these attacks happen, and then... I don't know when they're going to mention it again, but... Yeah, it does seem like a very, very significant issue to I guess, just be left out there, if that makes sense. Because, like I said, I think the next Marvel project is the Marvels, and we know only a portion of that is going to take place on Earth, aka with the whole Kamala situation. Obviously, seeing the ending of Miss Marvel, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it does pose a lot of pose a lot of I don't know. It does pose a lot of missed potential to not explore that further when you've got a bunch of people who are going to think, oh, this person's definitely a Skrull, when they're not, or the hysteria that is going to amass, especially with the president's speech. So, and how he's refused Fury's call to, settle things down, etc., and all of that. So, yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what will happen in the future, because obviously this whole Skrull thing is not going to be put... this is not the last we're going to have of the Skrulls and all of that, so yeah. But there's another thing that I do want to make a mention of, is the fact that Gaia is literally the most powerful character in the MCU right now. Because I doubt it's like the V24 in The Boys, where it's only going to be a temporary effect, right? That thing's embedded into her. So she's got all of these abilities that we saw pop up on the screen. But one of the names that did surprise me was Ghost, because, of course, the DNA samples were collected at the Battle of Earth, aka the battle against Thanos. Ghost wasn't there. So, to be fair, though, she was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I guess that might, kind of nullify that kind of plot hole there. So, if this could be provisions taking place if, Ghost was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, and then of course the roster expands when you collect DNA samples from the Battle of Earth. So yeah, but it was surprising to see that. But like I said, she is literally the most powerful person potentially in the MCU. And it's funny because I did have a look at all of the names, because obviously it was all in a bit of a flurry. There's going to be some that is going to completely go over your head in a very, very fast time frame. So I went over them all. And I don't know, I felt like they tried to mitigate some of the, big names and all of that, because of the fact that they don't want to overdo it. They don't want to make sure that Gaia becomes OP. But Gaia is already OP, like I said, with all of those abilities. It's not like the V24 or whatever. So she's got Captain Marvel's abilities, for crying out loud, who is one of the most powerful characters in the MCU anyways. But you have that on top of all of these other characters, like Thor, who, again, another strong candidate. And she could have had... I thought all of them would have been included. So, I mean, to be fair, that might be the case, because I don't think we saw them all. I don't know, but... because I'm just thinking Spider-Man's abilities are not on there, which, piss him off enough, then, yeah, you are essentially fucked. So, yeah, Scarlet, you've got a lot of names that were at the Battle of Earth. If you combine all of these abilities into one being, yeah, you essentially become... one of the most, if not the most powerful character in the MCU, because with Gaia, she's got all of these abilities. With Mantis, I did find it a bit like, does she know how to operate the mechanics of these abilities and all of that? Like, she told Gravik to sleep and all of that. I'm like, I'm surprised that she knew how to operate that. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, she's got all of these abilities, and she's suddenly the most powerful character in the MCU, because she could just switch it up, and she could just go from using Drax's abilities, for example, 1 second, and then when the time comes, she can just instantly switch it. She could just instantly go Hulk mode. So, yeah. So, and it could be very, very convenient. In like, for example, speaking of Hulk, let's go with when Thanos absolutely humiliated Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War. Put Gaia in, I guess, Hulk's position, where she initially, I guess, goes Hulk mode, realizes she's getting beaten the shit out of by Thanos, and then suddenly she could just switch it to Captain Marvel mode. And let's not forget, Carol was so close to beating up I mean, so was Wanda as well. But Carol was so close to humiliating Thanos that he needed a little boost up to push Carol back. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of Gaia becoming the most powerful character in the MCU, because we know that Hulk suffered hugely in the beginning of Infinity War. But if you put Gaia there, who's using, I don't know, Hulk abilities or whatever, she could just switch it to Carol mode, and then Infinity War would just be cleaned up in 5 minutes, right? So, yeah. So, I mean, that is a thing that has surely got to be addressed at future points, right? Because she is literally the most powerful character in the MCU. Which I'm not complaining about whatsoever, but there might be occasions where, you know, think back to Far From Home, for example, where, you know, Peter gets called and, oh, can you not call one of the Avengers? Gaia can literally solve these issues. So, yeah, like, I mean, this is going to give Emilia Clarke some longevity, I feel, in the MCU because of how powerful she is. So, this has probably put Gaia in a more prominent spotlight in the future because of the fact that she is literally potentially one of the most powerful characters in the MCU right now. So, yeah. Because it's, like I said, it's not like a V24 situation. She doesn't have this shit temporarily. At least from what I understand. Because, like I said, I feel like things were definitely cut. But to my knowledge, this isn't a V24 scenario, so yeah. But yeah, it was a really, really superb battle. And then when she glowed up to Carol mode, euphoria, just lovely. I just loved to see it because, I mean, you know, Carol is amazing anyways. And then just seeing one queen adopt from another is just great. So it was just really, it was a really satisfactory battle. So, like I said, a bit abrupt because I wasn't sure if Gravik would have regenerated from the hole of the stomach, but nada. So yeah, this Ken is now dead. Yeah. But yeah, and we also had Rhodey and all of that. Like we had all of the world leaders and not just that though, but Rhodey and Everett Ross rescued. So would they have gotten, you know, radiation? Because obviously the radiation charts for Fury was going off the charts, of course. But with them being locked up, I mean, unless the Skrulls had some kind of shielding thing to preserve them, I'm guessing. So yeah, but yeah, Rhodey's a big one because he's been out of the game. Like the real Rhodey has been out of the game since Civil War because he had his hospital attire. He was still, of course, paralyzed from when Vision implied friendly fire on him. And yeah, I mean, see, I don't know how to feel about this because I'm just thinking, of course, back to a certain death in Endgame, and it does kind of feel a bit like you go back to that ending, and it feels a bit that you've got an imposter there. Yeah, sure, he's harboring all of Rhodey's memories and all of that, but it's not Rhodey as well at the same at the same time. So yeah, I feel like that is definitely going to be a very heavy topic for people to digest because of the fact that, well, the real Rhodey has been out of commission since Civil War. So, and with that, Scrody has been there in Endgame, mourning Tony's death. So, yeah. It would have been funny, though. I'm not gonna lie. It would have been, because I've seen it. Ever since, of course, the whole situation about Scrody being a thing, it would have been funny if they brought back the actor from Iron Man 1. Right? How long have you been out? Oh, since Iron Man 1, so, yeah. But, yeah. It was just a very, very it was a really neat, it was a really good ending, but like I said, I definitely do feel like things were a tad rushed. So, and this is the negatives of Marvel shows lasting 30 odd minutes, because you have an episode that's like 37 minutes long, and you take away the 6 minutes of, well, not even that, 7 minutes of intro and outro. And that's essentially half an hour of a show. Where I thought, okay, when we first started with these first few episodes, they were quite lengthy, and there's a lot to digest, and I feel like this finale could have benefited with a long episode. Because things definitely felt a bit... I mean, even if we had a bit of a long episode, there are still situations that need to be heavily explored, like the president just making things worse because of the fact that people are taking it upon themselves, extremists are taking it upon themselves to take out Skrulls left, right, and center. It doesn't matter if they're good, doesn't matter if they're bad or whatever, because there will be people who will not give a shit about if they're good Skrulls or bad Skrulls. As long as they're dead, that's what matters. Because there are some ignorant people out there who will just not accept it. And then, of course, you have and then there's the idea of people just taking it upon themselves to kill those they assume are Skrulls and are not, aka the Prime Minister of the UK. So. Yeah. I'm just thinking of a good joke about the fact that, we can tell she's a Skrull because this Prime Minister is acting benevolent, right? So, not the UK, Prime Ministers. Yeah. If they're not making, if they're making life better for the people, then they must be a Skrull, right? Because, yeah. That's how you know. That's why that person assumed that the Prime Minister of the UK was a Skrull, because she was actually making good choices for the people, right? No, I'm not going to delve too much into politics because otherwise that's a whole can of worms, and I'm not here for chatting about how shit the Tories are. So yeah, but. Yeah, like I said, a really, really good... Because I enjoyed it, but I definitely feel like there was a lot more on the plate. There was a lot more to be discovered. And, yeah. Like I said, obviously, I don't see this as the ending of the Skrull saga. Like, not just, of course, with what's happening on the Saber with... the peace talks that I think is going to lead into Captain Marvel 2 in the Marvels, should I say? Because I think with the trailer the Kree are involved, so yeah. But yeah, obviously, like I said, with what's happening on Earth with President Ritson's call, that's something to explore, surely. And then, of course, Sonya and Gaia's partnership. So, come on, you gotta explore that. I mean, they're two iconic characters. Come on. So, as well as the fact that Gaia, like I said, is the most powerful MCU character out there now, that she has all of those abilities that don't seem to be withering away anytime soon. So, yeah, but, yeah, like I said, enjoyed this finale, and yeah, overall, if you know, I'm gonna make a ranking for this show, I'd say I feel like 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10 might be you know, how I view things entirely for this. So yeah, might not been the best Marvel show out there, but it was enjoyable. So yeah, I really thought that this was a really, really neat series. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right. If you want to check out more of my content, you can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time.